Hello everyone, I am Andrew Jordan, also known as the 12th Guy here on YouTube, and today is some more Let's Play Star Wars Battlefront II, the one that came out in 2005. In the previous episode, we started doing a bit of Galactic Conquest, the Birth of Rebellion scenario. We took over Polis Massa and Mustafar, and then we successfully defended. I tried to combine successfully and defended together. We successfully defended, I almost did it again, Dagobah from the Empire. We also got the rebel smuggler, and then we also saw what one of the power-ups did for us. This time around we are going to Utapau, and for Utapau I think the enemy does get tanks, so yeah, it'd be kind of nice to grab that. And then I'm going to grab that for later. So let's go ahead and go to Utapau. We'll get 500 credits and all that fun stuff. Utapau is an outer rim world marked by vast plummeting sinkholes lined with cities. And yeah, we'll do sabotage. And I don't think the Empire is holding on to that blaster bonus. Or they're going to be using it. Who knows? Sorry if I clear my throat a lot. Right before recording, my dad and I had homemade mochas, and they were really nice. We hadn't had them in quite a long time, just because, you know, it's kind of hard to remember the last time you do something, especially like during a pandemic where all the days kind of blur together. Yeah, I'm gonna go with just a basic foot soldier for right now. Definitely good for rushing command posts. Let's see, there's one. Yeah, there's two of them that are like right next to each other. And I think we definitely want to grab this one. This is a little more open, but it does give us nice line of sight to that tank that's there. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, okay. There we go. So that command post has been taken care of. Whoa. Oh, hi, tank. An AAC has joined the battle. There we go. My hope, if I can pull this off, is I want to go over here with this tank and try and catch them off guard. Or not try to catch them off guard, but try to flank them with the tank. Aha, you fool. Oh shoot, maybe I should have stayed in there a little while longer. Oh no, you don't. Oh, got in that tank. Thankfully the tank is heavily damaged because of the sabotage, so I don't have to worry about it too much. I'm more so worried about the stormtroopers, which, like, everyone likes to joke that stormtroopers can't hit anything, and they always cite, you know, Luke and company getting off of the oh, did I just nail a teammate? I think I did. Getting off the Death Star, and people are like, oh, the stormtroopers clearly can't hit anything. But, you know, when you think about it, it takes great skills as like a marksman to be able to shoot at someone intentionally, like you want to take your gun and you're going to shoot at them but not hit them. And it's like, yeah, you have the case of, like, you know, the Battle of Endor, where, you know, the stormtroopers get overrun by what everyone jokes is just a bunch of teddy bears. But you gotta think about it, you know, the Ewoks are the native species. Like, where the Empire set up shop is not too far from one of the Ewok villages. Or at least it doesn't seem like it, because, you know, movies and time dilation that they have, and all that weird stuff when it comes to trying to figure out the locations of things. But, like, in all seriousness, when you think about it, the Ewoks kind of had the advantage. And I know I didn't swap over just yet. Because it is their home turf. And so, you know, all the things that they've done, you know, those aren't, you know, happenstance. Like, you know, those were traps that were intentionally placed. And so what I'm saying is that, like, maybe we should, like, back off of the Stormtrooper Corps, because it's like, oh, well, they can't hit anything. Well, it's like, well, in the universe, they probably could. It's just, you know, their targets tend to have plot armor. So it's something that, you know, you should keep in mind when making fun of Stormtroopers. Or just, like, any faction, really. Just be like, oh, you know, the rebels, they are always on the back foot. It's like, oh, yeah. Of course they would be. Anyways, that's just my random Star Wars rant about how people are like, oh, Stormtroopers are worthless. It's like, are they, though? Are they? They're definitely good for, like, overwhelming an enemy position. Like, that's for sure. Like, remember the beginning of New Hope? That was insane. They just stormed in there like nothing was gonna stop them. Yeah. Alright, that's all good. That's been my random Star Wars rant of the day. Do I have any other Star Wars rants? That's a good question. Kind of, not really. They're more so about games. Continuing without saving, but I will save to the profile. We got 750 from that, and the Empire only got 480, because we're taking planets away one at a time. Oh no, they're going back to Dagobah. Oh, maybe I should have bought that extra fleet. Alright. Oh, they bought some extra stuff. I'm gonna skip on that. We don't really need supplies for this. The center of the reticle will flash if your shot hits a target. A fork symbol indicates that you've scored a critical hit. I don't think I've ever mentioned that in the campaign, but now you know. Yeah. About, like, you know, Star Wars games. I've noticed that, like, when people talk about the Star Wars Battlefront games, especially, like, when there was lots of controversy surrounding, you know, EA's first Battlefront game. Which, looking back on it, we can all agree that, like, the first EA Battlefront was kind of like a tech demo of what they can do. And then Battlefront 2, EA's Battlefront 2, barring, you know, the loot box fiasco, that was a more fleshed out version of what we had seen with the first Battlefront. And a lot of people, when talking about the previous Battlefront games, like the ones that came out before, you know, there was the big, you know, Battlefront drought or whatever, you know, they always forget the Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron and Renegade Squadron, which are actually pretty solid Battlefront games. Now, the DS version of Elite Squadron does leave some things to be desired. It's more of a twin-stick shooter, or a top-down shooter kind of deal, which doesn't make it bad per se, although it doesn't really have a lot of the elements of a Battlefront game. Even instant action is very stripped down, but to be fair, it was on the Nintendo DS. Not a lot of things really work well on the DS, so that's just something to keep in mind. It's kind of like, actually, yeah, I guess the analogy still works. Like when you have, you know, the various strategy games, like real-time strategy games that came out on the DS, or even the Call of Duty games that came out on the DS, like, they work. Some of them may not be good adaptations of, you know, their console and PC brethren, but I mean, for the most part, you know, they're pretty good. And I would say, like, Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron, like, on its own, in sort of a vacuum, is a pretty alright game. It's just when you compare it to its PSP port, it's kind of, you know, doesn't really hold too much water. But that being said, you know, and also Renegade Squadron was a PSP exclusive. And in fact, every time I think about Renegade Squadron, the first thing that always pops in my head is the freaking adverts that I would always watch on the old Renegade Squadron website before Disney nuked that, and it's like Star Wars Battlefront Renegade Squadron only for the PSP system. And I had such extreme FOMO back then, just because it was like I didn't have a PSP, I had a DS, but there was not much I could do. Also, we are getting clobbered for some reason. The Empire really is like pulling out the stops. I think it is because they are using the enhanced blasters. I think that's what's giving our boys a bit of trouble. But yeah, so you know, I saw a lot of videos talking about past Battlefront games, and they would only talk about Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2. And I always found that very irritating, because it seemed like they were writing off Elite Squadron and Renegade Squadron just because they were PSP exclusives. Or one was PSP exclusive, the other was PSP and DS. And so because of that, a lot of people are like, oh, well, you know, we don't want to talk about them because, you know, they're PSP games. They weren't on PC or, you know, PlayStation or Xbox. So does it really count? And it's like, I always thought that they did count because, you know, they brought very interesting things to the series that, like, if there was a, you know, true blue Battlefront 3 made by the devs behind, you know, the first two Star Wars Battlefront games, that it would probably include elements of Renegade Squadron and Elite Squadron. And also, it seems like, holy crap, it seems like that rain is really loud. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera or on mic, but I don't know why I said camera. But yeah, it like, I think I saw some stuff floating around that showed what Star Wars Battlefront 3 was going to be, and it looked a lot like Elite Squadron, which leads me to believe that Star Wars Battlefront Elite Squadron was going to be Battlefront 3, but I guess for one reason or another, it never really could achieve its full thing, so they went with a PSP DS thing and kind of scaled things down a little bit. You know, Elite Squadron still had that, you know, the dual maps kind of idea where you have a space battle and a ground battle going on at the same time. It had some very interesting concepts. Like, you could, in theory, use a fighter to take down the shields, but it was very time consuming, so both sides would fight over the ion cannon. And you could use the ion cannon to take out the shields, or if you were very patient, you could get into your capital ship and sit in your orbital strike cannon in your capital ship and just wait and wait and wait, and then when it's fully charged, you could use it to destroy the ion cannon. And at that point, you really ruined the entire, like, battle. Like, it just becomes a slog at that point, because it's like, now, you know, the big way you would have gotten points is from destroying the capital ship. Like, that was, if you destroyed the capital ship in like a standard point battle, you basically be given the win. Now, if you expanded it, expanded the point limit, then there was the potential that your side could also lose your capital ship, and you would just have to contend with that. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna use supplies on this one. Let's see how that turns out. Jesus Christ, it's really pouring. Good Lord. Now the flood warning for my county makes sense. But yeah, I haven't put a lot of hours into Renegade Squadron and Elite Squadron, mainly because I keep forgetting to regularly charge my PSP. But man, I freaking love those games. Like, there's just something about them that has a charm to them, and I think part of it is nostalgia. You know, the fact that, you know, I grew up desperately wanting to own these games, and in the case of Elite Squadron, having to contend with, you know, borrowing a friend's copy of the DS version so I could, you know, experience what, you know, it possibly, you know, could be like. And then watching, you know, all the various videos on GameSpot and on the official websites, and just fantasizing what it would be like to play the games. And in fact, Elite Squadron and Renegade Squadron are the only games that I regularly play with sound on, and or like with headphones. I say sound on or with headphones, like have it's the sound coming through the speakers. But like, you know, in all seriousness, it gives me a wave of nostalgia whenever I hear that the rebels have taken control of the ion cannon and stuff like that. It's just, oh man, it was truly just a wonderful thing. I will say, I don't think I've necessarily 100%ed either of the games, either Renegade Squadron or Elite Squadron, and part of it is because they had an achievement system, and more so Elite Squadron than Renegade Squadron. But Elite Squadron, in order to get, you know, certain colors and items, you had to get these achievements, and some of the achievements are locked behind multiplayer, and that's kind of bad for someone like me who doesn't really have sort of access to friends who either, you know, have these games or, you know, is willing to play them. And that was, like, I think one of the downsides of me having such a variety of tastes, and more so leaning to older games, is that I'll talk to my friends about it and they'll be like, okay, so what game are you talking about? And it kills me a little bit on the inside, because I'm like, these are really great games, but like nobody plays them because they usually require systems that nobody bothers to buy, just because it's like, well, why would I want that if I have like, you know, this system or whatever, or what have you. And I think I just got myself feckin' stuck. I did. But yeah, it's just one of those things. I don't know, maybe Neil will pop up in the comments and be like, hey, I used to play Elite Squadron. I doubt it, though. I don't think he's ever mentioned playing Elite Squadron or Renegade Squadron. I will say I have sort of tentative plans at some point in the future to maybe cover the squadron entries into the Battlefront series, just because I do really enjoy those games, and I do really want to like show off like every entry in the series. There's a mobile phone port of Star Wars Battlefront that was made at some point, and it's basically like a light gun shooter, but like on your phone. And I'm not talking smartphone, I'm talking flip phone. I'm talking like those Motorola flips kind of deal. But I highly doubt I'll ever be able to find a ROM of that online. I've only found like old promo pictures and like a Wikipedia article that was incomplete. Because honestly, like, who's gonna... That guy just freaking shot me in the face. Like, who's gonna take the time to like document that? Like, who's actually willing to do that? I mean, I would be willing to do that, but you know, unfortunately, I think it's kind of gone past the point of no return. And so because of that, you know, it's gonna be lost to the ether. Only forever remembered in the confines of my mind. And now this video. If I can find the old screenshots that I had saved a while back, I will try to remember to throw them in post, so that way you guys can see what I'm talking about. But yeah, for the I don't know where I was going with that. My brain just kind of trailed off, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is the end of that rant. But yeah, I guess it's just that there's a lot of Star Wars games that just get written off because, you know, they weren't, you know, part of the, like, the big sort of 3, or I guess, like, really, like, big 4. You had Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront II, Star Wars Empire at War, and by extension, its expansion pack, Forces of Corruption, and Star Wars The Force Unleashed. If it's not, like, those big 4... nobody really cares about it unless, you know, you go into like the retro gaming side of the internet, where for some reason they're really obsessed with, you know, Star Wars X-Wing, Star Wars TIE Fighter, and Star Wars X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. And, you know, those are, you know, good games. But, you know, for the most part, people only seem to care about, like, those. And, you know, people do play, you know, Star Wars Battlefront 2 by EA a lot, just because, you know, it's sort of the only, you know, officially supported Battlefront game we have. And so we just kind of have to contend with that, but it would be kind of nice to, if not in Battlefront 2, because I think they've kind of stopped with adding in new content for Star Wars Battlefront 2 by EA. Got 2 endurance, technician, which is good. I just gotta build up that technician so I can get vehicle regen. But yeah, maybe there will be a Star Wars Battlefront 3 at some point that incorporates a lot of the sort of classic aspects of Star Wars Battlefront, you know, like Galactic Conquest and, you know, proper skirmish mode. I say proper skirmish mode. The arcade mode that Battlefront 2 has is fine. As far as, like, single player stuff goes, I mean, like, like, the story mode for, Battlefront 2 is pretty good for this one, and I would argue it's pretty good for EA's Battlefront 2. EA's Battlefront 2 definitely goes out of its way to have unique locations, whereas the story mode for this game is mostly just it's basically reused maps. It's maps from the single player. They're changed a little bit to create a sense of flow that works better for the story that they're telling. But that's just like my hot take. Let's see. Was that this will be our 3rd battle. Okay. We'll finally get to see some space battles. Space battle over Dagobah. Alright. Let's go. They're doing energy boost, which is fine, I guess. But we're gonna do supplies. Because I wanna get in there and I wanna cause some chaos. Some weapons, unlimited ammo. Yeah, I think we've talked about this. I'm pretty sure the chain gun that the clone commandos use, or clone commander or whatever that class is, they use a chain gun. Takes a little while to charge up, but then it fires, and it is infinite but overheats. Okay, I'm gonna grab this. Everyone get in. We're gonna fly directly towards the enemy, and for some reason, they are in front of the planet, even though we were already here. I don't know how that works. Maybe we were caught off guard or something. Who knows? Not me. Let's see if I can nail that guy with a couple of torpedoes. Oh, it's a landing craft. I was not paying that close attention. Let's see. Let's see. Can we take him down? Can we take him down? Oh, it's a landing craft duel. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Oh, oh, it's so close. Hey, he's down. Although I think someone got like the last bit of health off of it. So it took the kill from me. But hey, at least they're down. And that gave us quite a bit of points. 9 points right off the bat. Holy crap. Although these auto turrets are being a bit of a pain. Oh, it's fine. We can make it. Oh, it's so shaky. Oh, there we go. All right, everyone out. I have to do a double land to make sure everyone leaves. Because otherwise, you know, we'll be in a world of hurt. Get that going. Or get that going, get that out of here. And that one. And we're going to load up this bad boy with some delayed action charges. Just so that way that's taken out of the way. And you know what? While we're here, we might as well destroy this. Just because it seems like something that we could break. I totally missed through that. I don't know if that's going to count. Hey, it's still counted. Okay. Some of these maps, the life support system, hitbox is a little weird. And it's just like with some of these maps. Like either it's the hitbox is a little too low or it's a little too high, and the engines over there sometimes they'll be placed a little higher than normal, and so it makes putting timed detonation things on them, little time bombs on them, a little harder, which is kind of odd. Also, something weird that I've noticed just in my countless hours of playing this game. Sometimes the little like friendly hit marker thing will appear, and I'm just always curious, what ally am I hitting with them? Because it doesn't make sense, like at all. Like, who am I hitting with that? Who? Now the, you know, sort of when it comes to the blowing up the life support system, that one kind of makes sense a little bit, because sometimes there's an explosion right in here, and that can potentially hurt any teammates that are in there. But I mean, like, at the same time, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So like, I don't know. There's a lot of things in this game that kind of confuse me, just little things. Because it's like, huh, what? Why? Who? What? But yeah. So we'll take care of that, and then that should explode. Yep, the engines have been destroyed, and that auto turret has been rebuilt, I guess. I don't know what the logic is behind this. But I'm just gonna leave that there, just because I'm gonna grab in a TIE fighter, and I'm gonna cause some chaos, because that's what we do around here. Whoop! I was trying to spin, but then I realized I don't have the sprint juice, the stamina. Yes, I don't have the sprint juice. Good lord. Also, I think I might have mentioned it. I don't think I did. But destroying the auto turret mainframe only really works for taking out the auto turrets on the capital ship. You probably could have figured that out. I just wanted to throw that out there just in case. So that means any sort of frigate defenses will still have their auto turrets online, and they will give you a hard time, because for some reason auto turrets can be really accurate for like no reason. Like, it's a little strange that they can be like pinpoint accurate, especially considering, you know, just how really the whole thing with you know, auto turrets and just droids in general are in Star Wars. Like, if you want a battle droid that's like super good, like as good as a person, it's gonna like be super expensive, despite droids being a technology that has existed for like centuries in the world of Star Wars. It's a little weird, but you know, It is what it is. Also, wow, they are very aggressive. We've already lost 2 things for our ship. Let's see. I'm kind of curious what those are. I wasn't paying attention. One is definitely short-range sensors. I don't know what the other were, but it looks like we might be losing... Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say, it looks like we might be losing another ship part soon, but it doesn't matter because we won. Because someone shot down a fighter, I guess. Yeah, Public Enemy, Deadeye. Killing Spree was an AI. The rest were all AIs. Award Pistol, Gunslinger, War Hero, all that fun stuff. Alright, that's good. Can't really get Technician in a space battle. It doesn't really work. Although, I guess if... I've never tried it. It might work. I don't know. Like trying to slice into a... like an enemy fighter before it leaves the hangar. I don't think you'd be able to. I think they would just take off. Like immediately. I don't know. There might be a way to do it. Also, since we just finished our first space battle, if you lose, you get 100 credits. If you win, you get 300 credits. There's no bonus depending on what planet you're fighting over, and there is also no bonus for having X amount of planets under your control. So it's just like a little bonus money on the side. But that was our 3 battles, and we're at like a half hour. So that is where I'm going to end it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the next episode, well, since we didn't go to Naboo last time, next episode we will start off by liberating Naboo, and then hopefully we can make our way over to sort of that eastern column of planets and liberate those, and then move on and finish liberating the galaxy. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time for some more Let's Play Star Wars Battlefront II, the one that came out in 2005. Bye-bye.